Oh, hello there. You've got me doing something very creative. Now, I am going to be honest. I am terrible at drawing and painting, but I love to colour. Now, I absolutely love to colour. Just look at these pictures here. And I also love doing things that relax me, especially diamond painting. Now, even though I can't draw or do anything that makes something extremely mind-blowing, I love doing a bit of creativity and a little bit of designing. Now, before I do talk about this show, do you remember running home from school, either on a Thursday or a Friday, and you would turn on the TV and you would put on CITV, and the first thing that you would see is the show that we're talking about? Well, I have to say, this show really brings back memories. Even though I never had the decency to try it myself, loads of people and celebrities, including Holly Willoughby, they claimed that they loved this show. And watching it again really does put a smile on my face. So let's roll the titles. It's Art Attack! What an amazing and creative show this was back in the day. So, Art Attack is presented by the wonderful and incredible artist and photographer, and of course a musician, which I obviously didn't even know, the one and only Neil Buchanan.
Yabba dabba doo!
One thing that I did not know about Neil Buchanan, obviously a few days ago, technically about a few weeks maybe, was that he also, in the early 90s, he also presented this game show called Finders Keepers. How cool is that? Now on this show, Neil shows us and teaches us some unbelievable art by using your imagination or by using anything in particular. You've got like patterns, drawings, or painting, or using anything that's extremely crafty. And the best thing about it is that Neil teaches us a very few simple tips. Now, I have got a question for you. Did you ever watch the show and thought, I can't do that? Or you tried it, but you failed miserably, and then you would start shouting, you'd feel hopeless because you can't do it. You think, oh, it looks so easy, but it turns out, no, it's not so easy. And then you completely flip out, or you watch it and then you're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to bother. Don't worry, you're not alone. I've been in that situation loads of times. However, one thing that I do remember from the show was obviously how to draw a one-sided face. Now I've got my scrapbook here and hopefully I'll be using a pen this time because I tried filming it with a pencil, but unfortunately couldn't possibly see it. So hopefully the pen will be a little bit easier. So I'm going to draw here, a nice big circle. Big circle here. And then I'm going to draw a one-sided eye. And add a pupil here. And then I'm going to draw a one-sided face. And then I'm going to draw some hair. And I'm going to make her a girl, because I like girls. Well, I am a girl, so yeah. And draw a nice big long ponytail. Make her look like Rapunzel. And there you have it. A one-sided face. Simple as that. Now, I have to tell you one episode of Art Attack that I remember so well. So one Christmas time, I'm pretty sure it was Christmas, my older sister got a VHS tape of the CITV bumper special where we would have one episode of each different show on that VHS tape. Now, Art Attack and another kids show I remember watching was the ones that I remember watching all the time. I never took notice of like the other ones that were on the VHS tape. So Yeah, obviously, and this one episode of Art Attack, I remember watching it all the time and every single day, and still to this day, it kind of scared me. On the first scene, Neil shows us and teaches us how to make a 3D deluxe version of noughts and crosses. Now, at the start, it does look quite difficult to possibly make, but really it is so simple. Let's have a look at how Neil does it.
You need to take one sheet of your newspaper and close it and then roll it up from the bottom to the top in a nice, tight, neat roll like that. So you've got a paper tube and then a little bit of tape just to tape that into position so it doesn't all fall apart. And the idea is to make 4 of these paper tubes all together and then just place them 2 next to each other like that, 2 on the top to create the playing grid. And when you're happy with the position, tape them down, use lots of tape and make them nice and secure so that you have something that looks like this. Now, to make the noughts and crosses themselves, take another folded sheet of newspaper and again roll it neatly from the bottom to the top, only this time when you've got your paper tube, instead of taping it, just twist it tightly like that so that you get a nice tight twist of newspaper. And now you need to make 10 of these all together. Now, for the crosses, take 1 of these twisted pieces of newspaper and just measure it up with the middle square on your playing grid and just trim it so that you have a little bit that fits inside that square, and then another piece across like that that also fits inside that square, and then just put the 2 of them together and tape them into a cross. And there it is. You need to make 5 crosses all together. For the noughts, again, take another twisted piece of newspaper and again measure that on the inside square of your playing grid so that it fits. That's about it. And then again put a piece of tape round and it's the right size. The reason I'm measuring it against the grid, of course, is so it'll fit inside the grid, and then you can trim off the excess there. Perfect fit. And again you need to make 5 noughts, so that's 5 noughts and 5 crosses. On and solid, you need to papier-mâché them. Let me just bring in my old friend here, PVA glue. The white school glue in the squidgy bottles. Mix it 2 parts glue, 1 part water, and then I'm going to start with the playing grid. It's just a case of spreading the glue onto your pieces, playing grid here, and then wrapping some kitchen roll or tissue paper or even loo roll around the bars of your playing grid like that, and just paste them on like that around the back, pushing it into all those nooks and crannies. And the idea is to cover the whole of your playing grid in 2 layers of PVA glue and tissue paper or kitchen roll, and the same with your noughts and crosses. And when you've done the whole lot in 2 layers, put them to one side to dry overnight, and when they've dried, look at this. They've gone rock hard and they're ready to paint. And paint it using poster paint or acrylic paint, but whatever you do, make sure you paint it in outrageous colours. Look at that, I'm just slopping on this fluorescent pink here onto the playing grid and do your noughts and crosses in exactly the same way.
Wow, so simple. All it takes is newspaper, sellotape, toilet paper, painting for decoration. Simple as that. Now, I've got another bit of a confession to make. I was going to film myself making this deluxe version of noughts and crosses because, you know, the amount of times I watched it, I studied it, it looked so simple for me. But unfortunately, it didn't go so well because the problem with me was that I didn't have any like newspaper. I did have glue, I had all like the other equipment, and I thought maybe if I try it without the newspaper, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But unfortunately, it didn't go well. I wasted a lot of paper. So I apologise that you obviously couldn't see me making a deluxe version of noughts and crosses. So yeah, I feel really bad, but I'm pretty sure loads of you, or maybe just a couple of you, you're more interested in watching the show rather than just me sitting on the table and just making everything. So yeah. But hey, we haven't even seen Neil's Noughts and Crosses deluxe version of Noughts and Crosses. How did it turn out?
I put on some extra little polka dots. Look at that. That looks really crazy. And you can go really berserk with the noughts and the crosses. And there it is. Sort of ready to play, really. And the great thing is, you can do any design you like.
Wow, that is amazing.
That was fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you okay, everybody? Oh my goodness, what in the world was that?
Hello, it's me, the head.
Oh my god. The head. The head. How could I possibly forget the head? And well, the head, you have not changed a bit. Don't worry, everyone. That was a bit of a false alarm. But that guy that you just saw, well, obviously some random stone head, that is the head. Now, he is a little bit popular, actually, because he tells jokes and he also reminds us just exactly how to make an art attack bit by bit by using 4 simple steps. It's absolutely fantastic. And even though, you know, he tries making an art attack, but it doesn't really go well with him. Now, I bet you have been waiting so long for me to talk about the best part of art attack. Well, here it is. Here is the bit where Neil creates a big art attack. Woo! Now, on the same episode, this part of where he makes a big art attack actually scared the life out of me. No matter how many times I kept watching it and watching it, the little bit I'm about to show you still to this day scares me. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, very funny, Neil. But no matter how many times I kept watching it, it still scared me. I never understand why when I knew what was about to come. I mean, come on. And another thing, it still gets a little bit creepier. Wow, as scary as that Frankenstein is to look at, it is absolutely incredible. Another one of my favourite episodes of Art Attack is when Neil teaches us how to make a portrait, obviously, of our face. Now, I remember doing this when I was in high school. Did you ever do this in high school? Let me just explain. Did you ever have to like sit on a chair and you had to like face the person sitting opposite you, and for about 10 to 15 minutes, either you or the person sitting opposite you would have to like draw your face while you sat down and like posed? I remember me in my school, we did that, and I have to admit, it was the most awkwardest thing ever. I mean, what in the world? Why would we possibly do that? So Neil teaches us and carefully explains how to draw a perfect face. Now I've got my scrapbook here and my pencil. So I'm going to carefully look at Neil's face and carefully just like look into his eyes and everything and study his face. So Neil, I'm ready when you are.
All the bits on your face, the shapes and where they're positioned. So, okay, let's start with the eyes. Now, they're about halfway between the top of the head.
Okay, got it. I'm ready to draw. Still looking at you.
Look at the shape. Now, if you look closely, they're not round, but your eyes are quite flat.
Hey, who threw this? Who threw this? Show yourself. Do you want the ball back? Sweep, this isn't a ball. This is a cuddly toy of the Little Miss Sunshine. All right, if you've got that much energy, I'll throw it at you, okay? But you have to run very fast, all right? Ready, and whoosh! That wasn't me, Matthew. That wasn't me, and it wasn't Sweep. It was Chris Jarvis. Sweep, get out of here before he finds out. Quick, go. Moving on. Another episode that I remember watching really did give me the inspiration to like do this all the time when I was a child, and that was making and obviously like more like drawing and colouring a pattern. I had an absolute obsession with colouring patterns when I was a little girl, and whenever I remember like doing a bit of a diagonal pattern, and I would always like colour in like red and blue. I remember doing that whenever I went to my mum's work, and if I was bored, that is definitely something that I would do. Love doing it. Now, I've got some more bad news. Again, I still can't find that episode that gave me the inspiration to colour a pattern. The problem with Art Attack is that it ran for about 17 or 18 years. I mean, it started way back from 1990 all the way to like 2007. And I mean, there's been about over like 500 shows and thousands of ideas. More like 2,000 is what Neil obviously said. So yeah, it's really hard to like find it. And of course, when you're on a deadline of like wanting to make this show, because something very exciting is happening to me next week. So yeah, but I would love to show you the one where he does a jigsaw pattern, which was inspired by a child.
Card, roughly 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and draw a very simple shape into one side. So there's a triangle into that side, and then another simple shape into one of the adjoining sides. And you can use any of the two sides as long as they are adjoining. There we are, very simple shape like that. Then cut those shapes out so you have something that looks like that. Now watch this. Move this piece to the opposite side and position it exactly opposite from where it was cut out. And you have to do that very accurately. I'm just doing it quickly here to show you. You can maybe measure it with a ruler and do the other piece and put that into the opposite side, exactly opposite from where it was cut out. And when you've done that, take them into position very carefully, and you have a jigsaw piece. There it is. And then place it onto a piece of white paper, a nice big piece of white paper, and just draw around your jigsaw piece to create your jigsaw pattern. And round to the beginning again, And there it is. There's the start of your pattern. And then simply move your jigsaw piece and just slot it in there like you would a jigsaw and continue with your pattern. You have to be quite accurate with this, so take some care and some time doing it. But you build up just a fantastic, crazy pattern. There you go. Move your piece again and then slot it in to another section and keep going. Cover the whole of your paper, and when you're finished, you'll have something that looks like that. Look at that.
Now that is amazing. Now, one thing that you may not have noticed, but I also took some time and I also created a pattern myself. How cool is this? Absolutely wonderful. Not so long ago, I actually watched the documentary of 30 years of CITV. I absolutely loved watching 30 years of CITV, and it's just so sad how it suddenly got cut off. I mean, seriously, someone bring CITV back. As I watched it, I actually watched the clip of Art Attack and how it all ran, how it had this and that. And when I actually watched that, I made such a shocking discovery. Now, this is something that I never would have expected, or even any of us. It was at Christmas time, and Neil asked all like the crew, thinking, where are they going to go for Christmas? And of course, the girls being the girls, they wanted to go shopping in New York. But I have to say, Neil came up with the most amazing idea for a big art attack that will blow your mind. Because he doesn't do it on the ground. He doesn't do it on like the walls or on the ceilings or anywhere in particular. And he also doesn't use props. He comes up with a really good idea, but where it's New York, where else could he possibly make his big art attack? Let's have a look at it and brace yourself.
Look at that. Look at that. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go, there we go. Right, this is it. Okay, Joe, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go on, Joe. Go on, Joe. It's gonna work. Go on, Joe. Yeah!
Wow, how cool is that? I mean, I was born in 1995, so I'm pretty sure I was about... Was I even born yet at the time when this episode appeared? I don't even remember. Now, I have got another very special treat for you all. Now, I know that Christmas is obviously long gone now, but did you ever see Neil in another country or in another location doing something even more exciting with Christmas? Well, this is something that he does, and I'm pretty sure I was about 6 months old when obviously like this happened. Let me show you this.
I've been thinking, as it's Christmas, why don't we do a really special big art attack? All right then, let's have a look around for inspiration. Well, I suppose we could always do it on the pencil case. Nah, not big enough. What about down here on the floor? Nah, we've done that, haven't we? I know. Why don't we go really wild? I mean, we could do it out here. Nah, it's not special enough. What about out here? Well, there's plenty of things we could use for an art attack big picture out here. Could use this, could use all this stuff. Nah, it's not Christmassy enough. What about in here? Nah, not enough room in here. We need somewhere really special. What about in here? Come and have a look round.
Cool! Did you see the bit where Neil walked out of the studio and the outside and inside the airport? That is just unbelievable! I've always wanted to like see the set of Art Attack, and it's just unbelievable. So Neil and the camera crew head off to Barbados. Seriously, how lucky is freaking Neil and all like the camera crew to go all of like these places? I mean, I can't get anyone to go to Disneyland with me. Why can't somebody take me there? Why can't I just go in a limo and then be shifted off there? Never mind, let's see what Neil does on the beach with his very big heart attack.
Just fold it down. There, that's it. And a bit of fruit there. And haha! Yeah! Yeah!
Wow, surfing Santa! Awesome, Neil! Another one of my favourite things about Art Attack is also the one where Neil teaches us about tracing paper. Now, when we was all in lockdown, obviously on the first national lockdown, obviously, you know, my anxiety was so bad. We was all terrified about what was going to happen. But when we was in lockdown, I took some time and I did some tracing. Now, I've got some, actually got quite a lot here. So before I do actually do this with you, I just want to say a massive thank you to the NHS. If you work for the NHS, keep up the great work. You are doing amazing. And if you work in Iceland, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Asda or Lidl, keep up the great work. You're doing amazing. And if you're a care worker, again, keep up the great work. You're doing amazing. Now that I have shared my gratitude to all of like the people out here, I have decided to set you all a bit of a challenge. Now, this is a little bit of a game because what I also did is that even though I started like tracing like cartoon characters and did a little painting, I had a little think about this and thought, let's play this game and let me set you all a challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a picture and you have to guess what cartoon characters they are. Now, this one I'm about to show you should be so easy. If you probably like grew up in the 80s or if you love their film, you should definitely know who these two characters are. So let's see, who are they? If you guessed Wilma and Betty, you're absolutely correct. It's Wilma and Betty from the Flintstones. Who is this character? It's Emily Elizabeth from Clifford the Big Red Dog. Now, the reason why I wanted to trace this character was because, believe it or not, there's a little bit of a fun fact. My name is Emily, as you can obviously tell, and I had a very good friend. She was like my best friend. She was called Elizabeth. And when I first watched Clifford the Big Red Dog, obviously, you know, we see her going, "Hi, my name is Emily Elizabeth." I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I became obsessed with Clifford the Big Red Dog and also this character. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Oh, I don't think you're going to know who this is because this is actually like a human being character. Now, this is Ben Hanlon. Now, if you've watched him on Tricked or Dancing on Ice, I had the biggest hots for him. And still to this day, yes, I still have the hots for him. Because believe it or not, if you've followed me on YouTube the past like 3 or 4 years, I did a video vlog where I tried to like message him, and of course I got replies from him, and I actually spoke to him on Instagram Live when we was in lockdown, and he showed me a really cool magic trick. That was the best thing that ever happened during lockdown. So Ben Hanlon, if you're watching this, that's you. It's you. Oh, I'm pretty sure you're not going to know who this is. That is Mr. Ratburn from Arthur. Love this character. Oh, and who is this one? I'm sure you'll recognise this one. That is Sour Susan from Horrid Henry. If you love Disney and if you're obsessed with Disney characters, there's no guessing of who this is. It's Snow White. Oh, I'm pretty sure this was the bit where like she runs into like the forest. That episode scared me as a child, and no matter how many times I fast forwarded it, my mum always got mad at me for that. So yeah. Now, if I'm pretty sure loads of you obviously grew up with this character. So who is this? It's George Pig. And yeah, the reason why it's the sad face was because it was the episode where George has the hiccups and Pepper's like going, George, you're doing it all wrong. And then you see that little close up of George and he's got this sad face, and my heart really did go out to him. So yeah. Oh, and talking of George Pig, here is Peppa Pig, the logo. Oh, I was going to let you guess that, but yeah, you would have known anyway, so. Oh, here is another one. I'm pretty sure you probably don't know who this is. Have you guessed? It's Franny's Feet. I loved that show when I was younger. I don't know why, but I loved the theme song. I mean, how cool is it just to like get into a pair of someone's shoes and then you go into like a different world? I mean, how cool is that? I wish I could do that. I'm pretty sure that you'll know who this is. It's the mum from Horrid Henry. Don't be horrid, Henry. I'm actually quite surprised myself. I don't even remember tracing these characters. Oh, and talking of Horrid Henry, who is this? It's the dad. I'm pretty sure I did Horrid Henry. Did I do Horrid Henry? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Oh, yes, I did. Here he is. It's Horrid Henry. How cool is that? Oh, here is another character that that was my favourite on this show. Love this one a bit. So who is this? It's Pebbles from the Flintstones. She was my absolute favourite character on the show. I did like Bam Bam, but Pebbles. Now, guess who this is? That is Alice from Angelina Ballerina, the character that inspired me to be a dancer. And finally, oh my gosh, it's Ariel from The Little Mermaid when she sings the Part of Your World song. My favourite Disney character and my favourite Disney film of all time. My favourite song. Wow. If you guessed all right. One thing that I have learned about doing this video and of course watching Art Attack is that you can make anything just by finding it or seeing anything that you can create. Especially making a big art attack with milk bottles. Do you think it's possible? Let's have a look at it. Man, I would love to know just how many milk bottles that Neil actually used just to make that cow. It must have been more than 1,000. Now, just before we do actually end this video, I have one more special treat for all of you. Have you ever seen the very first episode of Art Attack that was shown way back in 1990. Well, I can't believe I've never seen it before, but I did actually give it a watch about a week ago. And oh my God, I can't even believe just how young Neil looked at the time. So, as a special treat for me and you, let's have a look at it.
Hello and welcome to Art Attack. Now this is the show that is going to give your eyeballs a very big shock. Because over the next 7 weeks, we are going to go wild with art. Now you don't have to be a great artist. We're just going to have fun being creative.
Wow, just 7 weeks it was meant to last for. And it ended up being 17 years. I think it was 17 years. Yeah, of course it was 17 years. Well, we have now officially come to the end of the video, which is very, very sad because I had such a brilliant time showing you all these clips and just making something exciting. But the best thing that I love about Neil was that whenever he would say goodbye, he wouldn't wave goodbye. He wouldn't even say goodbye. He wouldn't say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. He would just say ta-ra. So I'm going to end this video with me saying ta-ra. And because it's really inspired me to make a picture for all of you guys of where I long to be at. So here it is. And ta-ra. See you again soon.